Hey y'all, Colt here. So, in the last few weeks, the Bree skin finally came out, and my journey for that has been completed. So, it's time to focus back on some other content. In Vector Breakthrough 2, it's a lot easier compared to VB1. For one thing, Misery is a lot less mechanically complex compared to Mechanist, and I appreciate that the difficulty was toned down in general. Some people complain about it, but I think easier content is more fun to repeat and optimize. Anyways, on to Misery. Let's quickly go over his kit so y'all are caught up. Just pretend this is a mini episode of Sierra Military College. Let's start with that. This will specifically go over Misery's Tier 3 variant, which is a full version of his fight, so I won't be going over his Vector 5 or 8 battle, just his Vector 12 battle. One of Misery's passive traits is that he has 100% physical and arts dodge when inside the unlit squares on the maps. This is only important in Phase 2, but more on this later. As well, Misery's basic attacks and his murder skill inflict an arts DOT that do 20% of his attack for 10 seconds. This can for some reason be resisted, so Bree stonks are through the roof right now despite resisting this debuff barely mattering, but if a unit is retreated while under this debuff, the redeploy time is increased by 250%. In Phase 1, Misery walks straight to the blue box on a normal path. Every 15 seconds, he'll target the operator with the least max HP and game end them, doing the aforementioned DOT when he hits. Regardless if he one-shots or the unit dies from the DOT, the redeploy time is increased. He's not immune to stun, freeze, or fear, but if you inflict it on him, he'll make himself immune to the status for 5 seconds and recover 10% of his max HP, which in Vec 12 means 8000 HP. After Phase 1 is killed, he'll retreat to a designated point on the map covered in darkness and begin Phase 2. In Phase 2, he still does his game end skill every 15 seconds. As well, when units appear in front of Misery, he'll teleport back to the nearest unlit tile within like 2 to 3 spaces. I don't actually know the exact number, I just kind of know he just does it. Okay, so as I was gathering footage for this, I was trying to do the thing with Ling at the end of the video to see it later, but watch what we do right here. I'm trying to deploy Bagpipe, right? You're gonna see this in a second, watch the footage. I deploy Bagpipe, so when Misery teleports, she should be going behind Bagpipe, but he teleports to the tile on the top of the fucking map, I thought it was 2 to 3 tiles. I didn't know you could teleport there. What's the coding for that? If he runs out of tiles to run into, he'll make a beeline for the blue box unless unlit tiles can be created again, which usually involves killing someone. It's extremely difficult to purposely lose to Misery unless he's on the move while already in the light. Otherwise, you should be able to eventually whittle him down. Now that everybody is caught up, let's exploit the crap out of him. Misery can be cheesed in multiple ways. His primary attack is his murder skill, which does 4000 physical damage, and since he's prioritizing the lowest max HP unit, OPM will not in fact be very useful to tank this boss. We need a new way to get around his skill. And as you can see, since the main issue is lowest max HP targets, players may not be able to copy all of my methods to a T, and it's important to stress that you should ultimately use what works best for you. If your Misery bait has lots of HP, prioritize using units that have more HP than who you're using to tank his skill. But more on this as we go through each method. The methods are as follows: the 3 fast redeploys method, Chen the Dawn Streak method, Roberta with an E0 Dollkeeper method, and Blaze Alter with Perfumer/Bards method. For this method, it's probably going to be the relative cheapest for any player to achieve. You need to at least have 3 fast redeploy executor specialists. So this includes Crownslayer, Gravel, Kafka, Yado Alter, Phantom, Project Red, Texas Alter, and or Waifu. This method primarily involves constantly redeploying your fast redeploy to cycle through them as Misery keeps killing them all with his skill. The only real issue is making sure you have enough DP. Myrtle is a super low HP flag bearer, so you may want to switch up your DP generation options, or accept that Myrtle will be only on the battlefield at the very beginning of the map to generate 2 skill cycles. Elysium and Sayla have higher HP, so it should be okay. For the fast redeploy method, players who have raised their Gravel, like me, may have the issue of Gravel having a lot of extra max HP, and it may also help to turn off her module to reduce her HP if you have it. But some meta classes have generally higher HP than Gravel, such as Chaemetics or Kal'Zith thanks to her higher than normal trust stat toward HP. Otherwise, this strategy is arguably one of the cheapest to work with, even more so if you have an E1 Gravel. I could have also used Crownslayer, I have her E0, but you get the idea. So for this method, I personally used this the first time I cleared the stage, and is one I came up with entirely on my own. Chen 3's second talent lets her dodge the next physical or arts attack guaranteed. This talent refreshes every 7 seconds when not taking damage, and since Chen 3 has pretty high HP, it helps to run a primarily melee-centric team, so I use Saria S1 to heal her. Other than just making sure to have Chen 3 on the map at all times, this method works indefinitely. Additionally, Chen 3 with S3 is good for top lane damage since that's where a majority of the enemies spawn from, including Leaf Carpet, Document, and Stopwatch from VV1. This method is a pretty cool one, making use of Roberta's S2 with an E0 Doll Keeper. So, when Doll Keepers are killed by Misery, any effects on them are dispelled when they go into their doll form. But there's a catch. Doll Keepers have a 20-second redeploy time, so you need to find a way to keep them safe during that 5-second window. Because if you remember, Misery's skill reappears every 15 seconds, and, Doll Keepers being 20 seconds, you have to find someone to bridge that 5-second gap. Now, we could just use a fast redeploy, but remember, anybody who dies by Misery's skill or his DOT have a plus 250% redeploy time. So we need 2 fast redeploys, and at that point we're just back to the 3 fast redeploy method. The trick here is to bring Roberta with S2, so wait for the Doll Keeper to die by Misery's hand, and then deploy one of Roberta's Stylers next to them to grant them a shield for the next time Misery strikes. Then retreat the Styler and prepare for the next one after it's used up. With an E0 Doll Keeper, such as Verdant, Mutsumi, Kazumaru, Beta, Iana, or Spectre Alter, depending on who you have E0, you can do this method for quite a while. It's not permanent though, you will eventually run out of Stylers from Roberta, but if you sacrifice a random unit like Myrtle, you can extend the life of this strategy for a lot longer while playing tag with Misery. Compared to the Chen Alter strategy, this method actually lets players run lots of ranged units in their team comps, including medics, snipers, and casters. Lastly, the Blaze Alter method is arguably the most brain-dead as it only requires 2 units to make it self-sufficient, which is Blaze Alter and Perfumer or a Bard supporter. Blaze Alter has surprisingly low HP and very few units go below that threshold, so you can bring Blaze Alter to tank Misery's skill. Her second talent lets her revive over time instead of being killed, like a Doll Keeper. Blaze Alter alone isn't fast enough to heal before Misery prepares another strike, it's about a second late, so we need to tack someone else on to bridge the gap of that HP regen. Perfumer's talent lets her heal anything on the map, including Blaze Alter, during her revive time, so it doesn't even need a proc skill, which is great. Similar to Perfumer, Bards don't need to do anything else but exist, and they'll help Blaze get back up to full before Misery prepares another strike. This strategy is good because you can run nearly anybody. In the case of Blaze Alter, breaking a Bard who can increase stats or do other helpful things like the Civilized Eterna's S2 or Scotty Alter's S2 for more stats is very helpful. Since Blaze Alter needs to be at a low level, if you have an E2 max one, you may need to borrow a lower level one to fit in the units you like. But even at her maximum HP, Civilized Eterna can overcome this HP threshold with ease, and her S2 is perfect for helping against Leaf Carpet. Some additional tips before I finish out the video. Exia Alter's S2 generates a big barrier that can let pretty much anybody tank Misery skill 1 time for free. Just make sure you have some healing for the DOT. Lamuin S2 and Fartooth S3 can target Misery in the unlit tiles. For Lamuin, you just need Misery to exist in her range for a few seconds to have her always target him with her S2 thanks to her talent.
Orders, please. I'm here to help.
And for Fartooth, you'll need to reveal his invis with Inez while someone else blocks his path like I do here for Elysium. Lastly, summons won't work here, only the summoner gets targeted by Misery, so sorry to all of you Ling S2 fans. I think Vector Breakthrough 2 is currently a lot of fun, and I love that it's much easier compared to VB1, because I actually want to play it over and over again and test out new strategies. I think the near light mechanic is done wonderfully here to actually play around with Misery. Well, that's all for today. Stay breezy, y'all. I'll see you in the next video.
Don't order me around.
Your useless tricks will only make
You can hide your fear. Better safe who knows what lurks within the coward's color.
Take a breather and tally up your losses. Nothing worth celebrating here. We might be dead in a second or two.